Episode number 39. We got Jordan in the building. We're talking sheesh scores. Everything is good. We're gonna go straight into it. Jordan, I don't want to say too much, but it seemed like the internet been hating recently. We're it seems like the internet been hating recently.
Oh no! What have you done? What have you said? What have you said, bro? What have you said?
I'm gonna leave it. Wait, I'm gonna start off with the breaking news for today. Angel Reese, she is expected to drop a signature shoe by the year 2026. She signed an additional extension with the Reebok team. We don't have any details on the shoe. She says she's putting her name on it, spring 2026, which means the WNBA season. We're going to see an Angel Reese signature shoe. Jordan, what are your thoughts on this? Obviously, I think it's a great thing. I want to hear what you got to think about it.
She's just killing it off the court, man. The Cash App locations in Chicago. I mean, I'm super happy for her. She's totally monetizing correctly her fame from on the court. I'm super happy for her. This is great news for her.
A lot of people were saying, "Oh, she." This is my thoughts on it. A lot of people say, "Oh, she's not this, she's not that." She's that, and she is absolutely a superstar for the simple fact that you have such a polarizing figure.
Right.
College, she's already been a baller, 23-15 as a junior in her junior year, and now she's only moving into bigger and better heights. I'm really happy that she has her own signature shoe, and it's going to be a lot of things that people can't say about her moving forward. So, Angel, right. Shout out to her for actually absolutely getting this job done. I appreciate Reebok. Now, the interesting thing is, will she have colorways? So I think about, will she have like different types of colorways? Like I remember Kyrie had the SpongeBob at one point.
Oh yeah.
Ron had the Dion. I want to see what Reebok kind of does with Angel and what they're planning on doing for her. So
especially with her, a player that has such a sense of style. I mean, she's so big in that community as well. So, just more power to her, man. Like it's I mean, she's doing such a good job. She has her show, her live show, right? I mean, she's killing it, man. She's killing it.
She is absolutely killing it. So big shout outs to Angel Reese for that, and just the fact that she's been just on her game. And again, a lot of people, they don't know what to say when it comes to her because she's again very polarizing figure, and it's just really difficult to try and hate on her because she keeps winning, right? If you're a hater of Angel Reese, you probably hating today. Honestly, you probably are hating this today because she hasn't lost since she entered the league.
The resume is growing. National title game, rookie all-star starter, right? Multiple records set. I mean, it's quite impressive, man.
Let me ask you this. So speaking of, you just brought this up. So you said, speaking of the records, so records growing. I think you said records growing. The New York Liberty, first franchise history. Today was parade day. Got Sabrina Ionescu. This is now. Let me just highlight this jersey right quick, or this varsity jacket from Nike. I thought that. That's pretty cool. It is. They put the playoff. I've never seen anything like this. They put the playoff series on the left of her sleeves. Put the championship on the jacket. Liberty has a nice ring to it. This is fly. The Nike crest. Then they also put like, you're gonna have her. What are your thoughts?
Liberty has a nice ring to it.
What are your thoughts on this jacket? I'm getting ready to play the rest of the Liberty lost now. The Liberty won. They won a championship. I don't know what you mean.
The
championship ring.
That jacket is super cool. I really like those patches. It doesn't have quite the Moses Malone faux, but still it's the 203132. Dude, that still looks pretty fly. I love their colors, man. I love it. It's congratulations to Liberty.
Yeah, the seafoam green looks dope. Speaking of the Liberty, I'm gonna play some more quotes by Sabrina. This is from Jonquel. I'm gonna play this quote first from Jonquel, then I'll play this by Sabrina. So 2020 Rose Gold on Mude is there. This is literally what Sabrina had to say about everything right here.
With the Timbs on, Sabrina, I know you're from California, but Whether it's literally the shirts and the billboards that say Ionescu or the affectionate nickname of Bodega Sab with the Timbs on, or it's Spike Lee himself dapping you up courtside in the game. New York loves you. What is it like to be embraced by this city in this way?
I mean, it's been amazing. Being able to be drafted here and knowing the work that we've put in to get to this point today, being at this parade, able to see so many people just celebrating us. I can't put it into words what it means to be a part of this community, and I think I'm a New Yorker now.
So that was her thoughts. I loved it. I love the fact that she took some time to acknowledge. I thought that was dope. What are your thoughts on that?
Man, she's been in New York for what, 5 years now, 6 years, and
her first number one overall pick ever.
She brought him a championship before Aaron Rodgers, before Aaron Judge, before the Islanders, the Rangers, the Brunsons of the world. Like, I mean, that's congratulations to her, man. She did it. Congratulations to that New York, to all the New Yorkers, man. They've been suffering for a championship for a while, so.
Sure, she was having a great time. Whether being decked out in confetti, as you saw her right there with the fans, she giving autographs before the game. Yeah. So Sabrina she has just been on it today, and it just warmed my heart, because to see that, because you don't often see things like that, especially from athletes, and again, so shout out to Saps for that. So I just thought that was really cool. Let me read what Felix put. Stewart traveled. Oh, you still on that, Felix? The game is over. The game is over. So Felix comment Stewart traveled and was a foul. Dog, what are we talking about? That was a week ago. The game is over, man. Like that's done. That chapter is gone. You gotta rewind time and call the foul. It's gone.
Yeah.
We passed that. I understand. I understand they could have. Listen, there were a lot of fouls in Game 4. There are a lot of fouls in Game 1 that could have been called. There are a lot of fouls in Game 2. We passed that. They won the chip. They won the chip, bro. It's over.
I mean, there were so many, not great calls both ways. I mean, you could make an argument that, that the refs were trying to take out the Liberty against the Aces or extend that series with I keep mentioning it, but Breanna Stewart caught 4 fouls in 5 minutes, bro, after she was blazing hot in the third quarter. So, you just kind of have to play through it. It sucks that it happened in Game 5, but I mean, that's not the reason why it was a close game. The game was close the whole time, the Lynx could have played better throughout the game, made more shots. It is what it is, Congratulations to the Liberty.
Yeah, and speaking of the Liberty tonight, they're hosting an event, and funny enough, I thought it was cool. Yeah, right? You're welcome. New York always gets it done. I thought it was cool, one, that they had Teresa Weatherspoon at their their championship parade. Obviously, they're paying homage to the past legends of the game. So I just thought it was cool that Coach Spoon was in the building with her throwback jersey. So I thought I love this, and she was turned up the whole day. And then even just everybody, Sabali and her sister. This is Lady Hamilton, Kayla Thornton, but Sabali, the Nayara and Satu, they're both shooting TikToks in the float. Everybody was just having a great time. Jonquel, this was the hype.
Speaking of old school Liberty, this shot, man, that was such a great shot. Speaking of old school Liberty, don't you feel shout out to Rebecca Lobo for calling a relatively fair finals telecast?
Well, the internet would say the opposite. Honestly,
really?
Rebecca Lobo is New York, this and that. I'm like,
I thought compared to other things that I've seen, it was pretty solid.
I mean, again, because I wasn't rooting for the Liberty or the Lynx. I just want to see good basketball. My pick was, again, I thought New York would win, even though I picked Minnesota to reach the Final Four. So, but it just was. It's just an all hands on effort, and everybody that's been hating on New York for winning this chip, this is their first chip in franchise history.
Franchise history, yeah.
What are you really gonna say? They've been grinding for this. So,
Question.
I'm to the New York Liberty for getting it done.
So I was thinking about this earlier today. Jonquel was MVP, but did Jonquel have a better series than Napheesa?
Let's pull up the stats. Then, why do you think she did it?
I don't know, like in my mind's eye, I feel like Napheesa played so well, you know, in so many moments, in so many clutch moments, and made so many clutch shots. So I don't know, like I feel like even though the Lynx lost, Napheesa might have been the best player in that series.
Let's look at the rest. So I just pulled up the box. Let's pull it up. So let's pull it up. I don't know, Jordan. That's not a bad take, but let's look into it. So the advanced stats. Let's pull up the advanced stats. Game score is Breanna Stewart. Actually, the game score is Jonquel Jones, the number 1, and then it's Breanna Stewart. Let's pull up that. Okay, yeah, you're right. She played better. According to this, she absolutely played better. 15 to 16 to 14.
Yep.
That's just on the advanced stats too, because 18. So Jonquel averaged 17, 7, and 2 on 50, 40, 90 splits. She put 19, 8, and 2 with 3 steals and almost 2. Yeah, she played better. She absolutely played better. She played better. But the question is, are you going to get Finals MVP to a losing team?
That's why Iguodala got it.
Yeah,
That's the only reason why Iguodala got it.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me ask you this. So speaking of, I guess, losing teams, and it pains me to say this because this team is one of the teams that I covered and I enjoy watching. The Dallas Wings, that had a losing record this season. They are thinking about bringing Curt Miller in to, I guess, become the head coach of the Dallas Wings. What are your thoughts on that? Good fit, bad fit, fair foul?
When I think of Curt, I don't know, like, I mean, Curt Miller. Do you think Curt Miller is the guy that could sort of get everybody on the same page and take that 9-win team and get them into the playoffs? You know what I'm saying? Like is he that guy? You know, um I don't think so. But then who would you get? What are your options, you know?
That's the problem. It's like, but then I would just get somebody new.
I would get Stephanie White. I mean, I love Stephanie White, which is so funny because like Curt Miller and Stephanie White are just two former Connecticut Sun coaches, you know. But I mean, Stephanie White had a lot of success, and what Curt Miller took him to the finals, right, a couple years ago. So, I think I mean they're both proven winning coaches, but personally, I would take Stephanie White over Curt Miller.
Speaking of which, so a lot of people are saying that Stephanie White could quote unquote replace Christy Sides on the Indiana Fever. Now, I'm gonna give my take on this first. If you're Indiana, I don't think I would make that move. And shout out to, let me just say this too before I go into that. Shout out to Rindy who I said he should have been MVP. So she agrees with you, Jordan, long time listener. Shout out to Rindy for that. But so she agrees with you. But what I will say regarding Coach White is, are you going to have? And I want to address some of these comments on TikTok right quick. So just a second for me, Fire. I'll kind of get back to you. Would you try to hire Christy Sides instead of having Stephanie White in your roster as your head coach?
You're asking me?
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of it comes down to like expectations. Like how many wins did you really expect Christy Sides to produce for you this year? You know, I mean, she got you 20 wins this year. Obviously, she didn't get it; the players did. But I mean, what were the expectations for her? You know, did she win enough games to keep her job? I think she did. Um, and Stephanie White, would she be an upgrade? I think she would be. Is she the best fit for this team? I don't know, man. I don't know if these particular set of players would, you know, I mean, I could just only judge her from her 2 years with the Sun. Uh, I think we just run it back one more time with Christy Sides.
I agree. I'm like, because if you're Indiana, you never know. I've been in these rooms where they called Christy Sides the young Pat Riley. I'm not saying that she is. Y'all don't have to quote. I'm not the one that's saying it. Now, what I am saying is that there are people who do feel like she has that type of potential so that she can be a first-time head coach and really right this ship. And again, from watching her from the beginning of the season till the end of the season, she looks like a completely different coach. Just from like the way she's doing rotation, from how she's implementing more schemes. I'm talking about offensively. Now the question is, again, if you have a veteran coach and Coach White, who you know can do the job, are you going to replace her and kind of shake your team up? You know, that's the only thing. So I have no clue how Indiana, what direction Indiana is going into, but a lot of these reports are suggesting that could be happening. Rennie put this though: Christy Sides doesn't come across as having a great basketball IQ. Sometimes you got to develop that. You know, sometimes that's something you have to develop just as a coach, right? So I don't feel like everybody's Pat Riley at the gate. So that I'm not gonna say. So that part I agree with. Let me I want to read some of these comments
Sure. Yeah.
on TikTok, Jordan. So we got some people hating on Reese in the chat. So I want to kind of address that.
Angel Reese. Already?
Yeah. She gets a signature shoe and they start already hating. I don't get it. So Reebok, he put this guy is just two flame emojis. He put Reebok hasn't been relevant in basketball since the early 2000s, and 2026 dropped. And he put a laughing emoji. Then he put by 2026, Reese will be old news when Paige and CC run the WNBA by using real skills. He put, what else did he put? Let me see. I agree with you. Okay, we'll get back to that. What are your thoughts on that? This Angel Reese, this obviously nonsense Angel Reese hate.
I feel like sometimes people just don't evaluate Angel Reese as like what she is. Like she's a solid rebounder. No, she's an excellent rebounder, a solid defender, and she just needs to add an offensive touch and she'll be solid, you know? She will never have the offensive package of Caitlin Clark, and she's never going to come close to it. But she doesn't need to come close to it to become one of the best players in the league. You know, she's already an all-star quality player. I had her in my top 25. I thought she was very good, you know. I think she could be really successful with, you know, a little bit of improvements. I mean, come on.
Let me ask you this: name a two-time All-American, averaged a double-double, a 20-point double-double with 15 rebounds, that won a ring, that won a Finals MVP or tournament MVP. That's looked at as quote-unquote trash. So just name that player. Name that player. That's the only thing I need to know. Just name that player. So the fact that you know, when people hate on her nonsensely, like somebody in the chat just wrote, "Does she have a pause?" What are we talking about? Like when I feel like when we say these types of things about Angel, you're honestly saying it about me. And it's like if you could say it about her, you could say it about me. And I'm like, if you want to be racist and blatantly racist and overtly racist, you could say that for another live. You could go to somebody else's live. This is not what we promote here. Like, I don't understand. We talk basketball on this channel, and we try to keep it honest and objective. So It's like we hear these silly comments. I'm like, it is Tyrese. That was absolutely crazy. And then they be saying the dumbest. I don't even want to curse. They be saying the dumbest stuff. So when they be saying these overtly racist stuff, it just like, what are we saying? Because if you can say it to her or about her, you can say it about me or about anybody, about anything. So it's like let's keep it on basketball. If you think she's not good, which obviously she is, you can voice that in the chat. Let me know why you think that is on that part. So some of this nonsense is just crazy. But other things I do want to address is Mickey, I agree with you. I appreciate that, Mickey. I don't know what he was talking about. So Tyler put back to the Stephanie White quote. He put, I agree with you on the progression. So this is about me. Tyler BS1. I agree with you on the progression. Until she was given Coach of the Month, she went back to her old ways afterwards, talking about
Christy Sides.
Besides, I mean, again, I feel like she, okay, I thought she had something. Okay.
I just feel like,
yeah.
I mean, okay, imagine a world where we let go of Christy Sides. What would the justification be? What do you?
You finished third in Coach of the Year. We got to fire you because we got Stephanie White.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't understand. Like, how can you justify that? I mean, like, how can you? I don't know. Like, because there's a lot of pro Christy Side supporters too. You know, and it's like, how do you justify that? You know, team got to the playoffs, 120 games, third in Coach of the Year. Like, what do you want to do with a super young team? You know that I don't know. I don't know. I can't justify it.
Let me read Randy's comments, and then I want to start reading some of these comments. They asked about why can you name Angel Reese as a good player. I'm gonna keep it very simple, and then Randy, I'm gonna get to your comments. I really do appreciate it. So the simple reason why Angel Reese is a good player: lead the league in rebounding as a rookie, made the All-Star game as a rookie, he got an MVP vote as a rookie. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Number 17 in overall defensive rating as a rookie. Number 12 in overall efficiency as a rookie. When she was on the court, they had arguably one of the highest plus minuses in the WNBA. When she played in the game, meaning her team won and they were in the playoff race. I mean, those are like 9 minute reasons in addition to the number of records she broke, in addition to winning player of the month from the WNBA, in addition to, again, averaging 23 and 15 out of college, winning a tournament MVP at a national championship, being a 2-time All-American, getting a Reebok deal. I don't believe we're saying this stuff out loud, y'all. Reebok just signs bum athletes, apparently. Reebok, history of Reebok, who also has Shaquille O'Neal, another LSU product, right? They just randomly sign people who are not good all of a sudden. So please, the inflammatory comments are just incredibly stupid.
But Jambari, college doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, college doesn't matter. College doesn't matter.
College doesn't matter, Jambari.
I hear you. Hey, rebounds don't matter when it's only your own miss. Okay, she leads the league in rebounding when it's not her own misses. Like it's always something stupid. Again, I don't understand the hate of Angel. If you don't like the way she plays or says, hey, she needs to make a layup more often, I'm not gonna get mad at that. She shot 40% from the rim. She knows she needs to get better at that. But to dismiss her is laughable. So shout out to that. She looks good. That's all she is. I mean, whatever. That's what you think. I disagree, but a lot of other GMs would also disagree as well. And let me read Randy's comment. So she put, the WNBA ruined Angel's rookie year by promoting the rivalry with Clark. Angel had an outstanding year on her own. What do you think about that?
They've ruined the league by promoting the rivalry between her and Caitlin Clark. Is that what she said?
I'm gonna put it back up here right now. This is Randy's comments.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I feel like it helped promote the league. It created appointment viewing. When you go back in time, as the schedule comes out, we circled, Fever Sky, right?
Yeah.
Like we wanted to watch those games, and there was an anticipation about those games. And I remember we used to stream the show right before those games sometimes. I think 2 times we did. And it was like super exciting to see how it would turn out. I think they marketed their meetings pretty effectively. I mean, it was super interesting, and just to see how these 2 very different rookies would help their respective teams, how they grow and how they'd help their teams get into the playoffs. They were like were they top 2 for voting for All-Stars? I mean, Clark was number 1 for sure. Yeah. But I mean, it was just so interesting following them. So I don't know if it ruined the league. I think that helped. And for the people that don't appreciate Angel Reese, they never will. And the ones that do, they never will. But the people that do can still appreciate her individual year, because we watched it. We watched the hustle. We watched the crazy rebound angles. Like, I personally like that she was a good teammate to her teammates. She was always cheering for people on the bench and stuff like that. So all that stuff is positive intangibles for me. I mean, she has obvious deficiencies. We could keep harping on them. Like, she kind of sucks with offensive touch. It is what it is, but hopefully it gets better. But she's still good enough at other things that she's a quality player and still one of the top 25 players in the league.
It's facts. That's facts. Everything you just said. If she was so bad, why would she make All-Star team? And I've heard some people say, "Oh, the GMs just voted her because she's popular." I'm sorry, the media just voted her because the media is not voting for you if you're popular. If you haven't noticed, Caitlin Clark did not win unanimously because of the quote-unquote media, and that's because of one media member not voting for her. So the media is not going to just give it. You need to actually do something to kind of validate the reason why they're voting for you. So it's not just because hey.
Also, like if you go back in time, like if Angel Reese is so trash, why did the GMs and everybody draft her 7th out of a whole pool of a bunch of people? Like she was drafted higher than Phoebich, who I love. You know, like she was drafted higher than a lot of players.
And Jordan, let me do this. I'll let you keep going. Good point. She got drafted above Phoebich. That's a great point. Let me just say this and I'll let you keep going. I like the people that like to call Cheryl Swoops Cheryl, and then they call her Cheryl with a C. Like, if you're going to talk about somebody, at least spell their name right. Like,
yeah.
It's hard to honestly hear your opinion, Jaw, when you're not even talking about the person who I think you're talking about.
Right.
I have no clue who Cheryl Swaps is, or whatever this guy's trying to say. He put, like, spell it, like, that, it takes away from your point, because it just makes you think that you don't know what you're talking about, especially when you're not even saying arguably one of the top 5 to 10 greatest players of WNBA history. Right. You can't even get her name right. Don't honestly have a conversation with me about Cheryl Swoop. And shout out to Auntie Swoops. I'll let you keep going, Jordan. But well, I mean, Phoebich, and that's a great point that you just brought up. If she was so trash, why did she get picked above somebody who finished number 1 in overall true shooting percentage and offensive rating in WNBA playoffs this season, and a budding star like Leonie Phoebich? This is a great point, Jordan.
The same people that like the same GMs that put her 7th also put Phoebich at 40. What was she, like 41 or something like that? Or she was pretty low, but it's like she like her measurables are good. You know, she's quick. She jumps quickly. She has she has long arms. She has decent size. That she has a good frame that she can grow into. There's a lot of positives here, not just in the present but in the future as well. So I don't know, man. It's tough. Like, just, you know, I mean, I feel like I'm more critical of Angel Reese than other people. But even at a certain point, it's like you just have to like let her like grow and develop a little bit, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I can't read that. At all.
Because people always talk about the Caitlin Clark load. Angel Reese, I think, had the exact same workload, right? Like, she had a deep run in the in the tournament. Then she immediately got drafted. She immediately started playing. She had a same amount of no breaks. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I just don't understand. Like, I mean, she should be afforded the luxury of, you know, people giving her a little bit of grace. Yeah.
Literally the same amount of grace, if not more. You know, especially because she's not. If you're coming in as a forward, that means you're playing against women that are like Tiara. So she went from playing against Hannah Stolke in the championship game or in the Final Four to playing against Tiara McCowan, 6'8", 260 pounds. And then again, her first game, she had 11 rebounds. So it's like, what are we saying here? Like, it's just the dumbest stuff. So moving forward, I guess we're not moving forward, but we're going to stay on the same subject. It is reported right now that Latricia Trammell, shout out to Coach Trammell, one of my favorite coaches in the W, like somebody we got a personal relationship with here. She shoots, she scores. She is the front runner to replace Teresa Weatherspoon in Chicago. This is reported by Howard Megdal of he's one of the pro writers, Basketball Association writers. Shout out to Howard. He runs Locked On Women's Basketball. What are your thoughts on this? If Coach Trammell, and I'm going to pull up some pictures of her coaching style. And I'll give y'all some backstory if you don't know. So Coach Trammell just literally took the Dallas Wings to a top 4 seed last season. But this is before the season. Before her team got wrecked with injuries. Obviously, she ended up losing her job, and then now she's one of the main candidates to come into the Chicago team. I mean, if you do it, what do you think about this?
I mean, I don't have any specific thoughts about it per se. You know, is she going to do a better job than Coach Spoon did? Is she going to be able to connect with the players like Spoon did? I mean, Trammell, you know, like all the rumors that were coming out about favoritism or whatever, or, you know, I mean, I don't think Trammell would do any of that. She's got a talented group of players to work with. You know, they're going to have that new practice facility, right? That should be up and running this coming season, right? So, you know, and the Sky were a pretty solid team before they kind of crashed and burned at the end. But you know, I mean, if she gets a healthy roster, they could probably compete for a playoff spot this coming season. She's a good coach.
She is a good coach, and I thought, honestly, I didn't think she should have got fired because, you know, her team obviously they had a tough outing, especially with the injuries.
Yeah.
But what I will say is this, I'm not a fan. I'm a fan of new blood. So I'm not a huge fan of having again, we talked about Kurt Miller going from LA to now potentially Dallas, and then Latricia going from Dallas to Chicago. It's like they might as well have just traded every coach amongst each other. I'm not a huge fan of the recycled coaches thing. But
Musical chairs, man.
Yeah, the musical chairs. But I have no problem with her getting a job, especially her, Coach White, any of these coaches, because I think they all are decent and great coaches in their own right. But it would be, for me, it'd be interesting to see if Trammell does honestly end up in Chicago with this team. That would be interesting to see, just because you got a developing star like Angel, you got a developing star like Camilla, and it makes you think about Tierra, and it makes you think about Polani, it makes you think about Natasha, it makes you think about Saku. She has a way of working with bigs and getting them better. And you talked about relationships. She's a great relationships type of person.
Is she the best coach that Chicago could get?
I mean, if the best coach Chicago will get probably is in the WNBA. I mean, is she the best coach? I wouldn't say that, Jordan, because I'm like, I wouldn't. Is she the best coach on earth? That's what you're telling me. That's what you're asking me.
Well, I'm saying, is she the best coach on the market?
She's one of them, yeah. I would say that. If we're talking about just WNBA, yeah, she's probably one of the better coaches on the market, yeah, for sure. That I would say.
Okay.
I probably would. I'd probably go with that. I like Coach Trammell. And then King said, is she a strict coach? She's more of a personal. She's like a player. She's a player's coach. So somebody that will enjoy playing for her would be an Angel, like a Teresa Weatherspoon. Like Teresa Weatherspoon is more of a player's coach, but she was a lot stricter. Coach Trammell is a lot more relaxed and a lot more relatable, but she gets her message across, if that makes sense. So her players enjoy. Enrique loves her, and we all love her in Dallas. So Enrique loves her. Satu loved her. So it's gonna be a tough out in Dallas without not being her, without not having her. But whoever does end up getting her on the team, we'll see. Because a lot of the comments saying they need a strict coach. They need a strict coach. I need to know why y'all are saying that more so than anything. But they're saying they need a. What do you think that they need, Jordan? I'll ask that because they're saying they need a strict coach. What do you think that? Okay, I have an answer of what I think that the Chicago Sky needs for as far as coaching.
As far as coaching, I mean,
thank you for that, Tyler.
First they need personnel, but I think they need I feel like they need someone for the long term. Like they need like a multi-year commitment coach, because I just don't like what they did with Teresa Weatherspoon, the whole one and done thing. Because it's like, what coach in 1 year can establish a system, install it, and then like have it be kind of worked through, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, typically, like in the NFL, like there's like multi-year installations. It's very difficult to have the right people, the right system all at the same time kind of converge. So, I mean, they need a coach that they're going to make a commitment to, that's going to stay there for at least 2 years, It's funny, this is not even the last like coaching fire that like we have to cover, but
we're gonna what do you think about, so when the Caps put Michael Cooper, what do you think about Coop or Bill Laimbeer?
I think I like Laimbeer. Laimbeer has been successful for a long time in the WNBA.
And yeah, Laimbeer for sure. But Cooper's a great.
They met in the finals 1 year.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love Laimbeer. I think he'd be great. I think he'd be very good.
All right. Yeah, Bill, I mean, he got that Aces team going together. But let me read some of these comments. Tyrese said they need an offensive-minded coach, and I'm right with you, Tyrese. Because if they don't, Reese will be kept in games to stat pad instead of just trying to win games. Yeah, but I mean, that's up to the coach. It's not up to Angel.
I was thinking that, like I was gonna say that, but I don't think they have the offensive personnel for an offensive coach. Like, you can't drop Mike D'Antoni in there, and all of a sudden, where 7 seconds or less, it's like they don't have the players for an offensively minded coach. They probably need a defensively minded coach.
Well, they had one.
Yeah, they actually had one. Yeah.
So it's like, are you going to get their defense?
Yeah.
So so I guess, speaking of defense and speaking of coaches, what are your thoughts on that? We'll be brief on this. I promise, Washington Mystics fans. But we are going to touch on this. Mike Thibault, Eric Thibault, both getting released. Obviously, Mike was with the NBA. and he was a general manager before he was a coach after helping a championship. Eric Tebow got signed right after because his pops gave him a job. I think the son didn't do too bad. I thought he kind of motivated them, but I feel like the owner, like, clean house. Let's go. Started to.
I mean, if I took an all-star forward off your team, because they want to take a year off, for reasons, like, I mean, your team's gonna suffer. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, did they perform super well this season? No. But getting rid of both Thibault, I mean, you're essentially saying that you're cleaning house, because you want to just kind of get rid of everything. So now they have to hire a GM and a head coach. So they're probably going to hire the GM first, and they're going to pick the head coach. But all of this all these coaches being let go, is making me think that, like, as the WNBA starts to generate more revenue and these players eventually start to make more money and the league starts to make more money, failure is not going to be tolerated. Like, people are going to be on a shorter leash than ever. And, you fast forward a couple years, it might already be here. I imagine we're getting to a player empowerment movement where if you're not happy with the coach, goodbye Darvingham, like, come in JJ Redick, like, where I feel like we might be moving towards that world. If you're not connecting with the star player on, like, a personal level, or if they don't believe in you, like, you might be out of a job real soon. What do you think about that, Jambari?
I agree. So I thought about this too. I honestly think about this as the Caitlin Clark effect. Funny enough, I think that, and the reason I'm saying that is this: one, let's say that I find most owners in the WNBA, or I'm not even gonna say the W. I feel like most owners of professional sports teams, they personally don't care enough about their sports teams. I feel like it's like a handful of owners that you really see that care genuinely about these teams: Mark Cuban and Donald Sterling, Steve Ballmer,
Mark Davis.
Mark Davis, right? You have Mark Davis is a great one, right? A great example. You have certain amount of owners who actually do care about the product, and you see that in the players. Now, I feel like the owners are speaking amongst their families, amongst each other, like, and they see this dynamo in Caitlin, and they're like, why don't we have a Caitlin? And then they think, well, why aren't we winning? And why don't we have a Caitlin? And why aren't we winning? And why is our team losing? And then our team is losing. We don't have a Caitlin, and how are we going to get more money? And they're not thinking of it. And they're like, we need to win now. Get a Caitlin, get a coach, and et cetera, et cetera. And I feel like they're jumping the gun because, and this is not a bad thing, it's just professional sports. It's a copycat league. So they're thinking, okay, we have to win now, and we need players that are going to win now. And we need coaches that are going to win now. Right. And I feel like everything is just being expedited because of the pressure the pressure that Caitlin is putting on teams, coaches, GMs, players, executives. It's just like a lot, and people are trying to scramble and figure out ways that they can beat this young woman because she's coming. And Diana Taurasi, thank you. If Caitlin not saying thank you for that quote, oh my God, thank you. Reality is coming. She's knocking. The Grim Reaper is knocking at your door. She's gonna beat your favorite team, and she's gonna win a few rings while she's doing it. So reality is coming. So they're packing. They're trying to get their eggs in a row, and they're gonna try and do their best to knock her off her pedestal, whatever pedestal they think she's on. They're gonna try and knock her off of it, and they're gonna try to put her in her place like they've been trying to do for the last 5 years of her collegiate career and WNBA career. But again, it's just like when Thanos walked through the door. It doesn't matter what you think. Like the dish is getting shut down. So I feel like, again, I feel like it's a part of it. It's just Caitlin. It's just the type of player she is, the type of dominating force that she is. So
how did this turn into a Caitlin Clark rant, Jambari?
I mean,
we were literally talking about Mike Tibble.
I mean, again, because I feel like a part of it, and let's bring up Caitlin, because a lot of people, let's talk about Caitlin.
We're talking about Mike Tibble, man. That's what the people want to hear.
Let's talk. Oh, they're going back and forth in the comments. He put CC is coming, Juju is coming, Madison Booker is coming. I got you. I'm not gonna do that to the collegiate athletes. We'll talk about them in due time. I'm not going to criticize them too much. But I'll say this. Unrivaled is here. They announced their 6 new teams. What do you think about these, I guess, these team names, these logos? You got the Lunar Owls Basketball Club, Laces Basketball Club, Miss Basketball Club, Phantom Basketball Club, Final Basketball Club, and Rose Basketball Club, Jordan. What are your thoughts on this, for you as a Phantom League? What are your thoughts on this?
Did you say, I mean, did you put words in my mouth? I'm calling it a Phantom League?
Just like Phantom BC. I don't,
Bro,
we,
they just made those.
It's a Phantom League.
Bro, they just made bro, these look like the logos that you would use in Madden for your made up teams, like the Dragons and the... Do you remember that, like 20 years ago?
Shout out to Unrivaled. Shout out to Unrivaled.
I mean, the Lunar Owls, the Mist, the Vinyl.
I like Rose Basketball Club. Truly, yeah.
I like Mist. I like the Laces and the Vinyl. Those are pretty cool.
Yeah, I like. That's funny. I like Miss Rose, and I'll probably go Lunar. I probably go Lunar Owls. But these are some of the team names. I thought again they just dropped. You know, obviously a lot of people have been speaking about it today. I just wanted to bring it up. There is some Unrivaled made a huge mistake doing a 3-on-3 full court, even a small court. 3-on-3 fundamentals don't work full court. There isn't a guard up top to stop the break. I don't know if you know how 3-on-3 works, but yeah, I think they're trying to mimic the Olympics to do that, and they did full court, which is a little bit odd, but it'll be interesting.
Is it full court? I think it's like 2/3 of the court.
Just 3-on-3 full court.
I think it's like 60 feet though.
So it's a smaller court.
It's a smaller full court. Yeah.
It's a smaller full court, but it is 3-on-3 full court.
Right.
I mean, so those are the topics today. I do want to address a little bit more about this Angel Reese shoe drop. One of 6 active players with a signature shoe, including Breanna Stewart, who's at Puma, A'ja Wilson, who's with Nike, Sabrina Ionescu, who's with Nike, Sydney Colston, who's with Creative Control, and Caitlin Clark, she's one of the only non-Nike players in this that I admire. For all the people that be saying she trashed,
she's the only one on Reebok, right?
She's the only one on Reebok. She's one of the 6 WNBA players, professional women athletes in this sport right now that has that. But yeah, she's absolutely, shout out to Angel for that. I do want to bring up some. Let me ask you this. Jordan, because I did see this. They have MVP odds, and I want to read this. So these are the betting lines, and shout out to Riverdance for bringing this up, because this kind of just came across my mind. So let me pull this up right quick.
Yo, shout out to Riverdance, man. She's on fire.
Yeah, she's awesome. Let me bring this up. So these are the MVP odds for next week. For next season. I'm going to do this from descending order. So Alyssa Thomas is at 6. Sabrina Ionescu is at 5. Breanna Stewart is at 4. And Napheesa Collier is at 3. Caitlin Clark is at number 2 in MVP rankings.
Wow.
It is wow. And A'ja Wilson is number 1. What are your thoughts? The betting favorites are saying that A'ja will win again and Caitlin will finish 2nd in MVP this next season. Let's go over under. Over under 2nd place for Caitlin Clark, finishing 2nd in MVP voting.
I think that she is gonna go. I think she's gonna probably finish 3rd. My MVP for next season, if I had to guess, would probably be Napheesa Collier. That's who I would pick for MVP. And I would definitely take those odds at plus 700. Because like she was the best player in the finals. She has a really sour taste. I think she even had this quote today that was like, "We're never gonna forget what happened in the finals today," or something like that. So, I would take Napheesa. She's in the prime of her career. I do not think Caitlin Clark is going to finish 1st or even 2nd, for that matter, in MVP voting next year.
I think it'll take some time for her to get that. And Jordan, to your quote, this is the quote she said.
Yeah, right.
It's something I'll never get over. To have it end that way, where it just feels super unjust. But it's really easy to love this team. We'll never be the same group again. I'm so proud of everything that we did this year. So that was her quotes. That was literally her quotes on the season to finish the season out.
Yeah.
As far as a lot of people putting CC's going 2nd, so Caps put CC's going 2nd. King put Sabrina's winning MVP. Tyler said he's going to take Collier for MVP. William put Angel Reese is no longer. Okay, this is stupid. Collier's winning MVP. Okay, we got a few votes for Collier. Asia, Tyrese put Asia winning MVP. Robert putting Fee. King said that's why Sabrina should have been on first team All WNBA if she is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She's 5 in MVP voting. She should have been.
Well, I mean, these are just odds to win the MVP. This doesn't mean she's the 5th best player in the league. You know,
Right.
It's like if you get to bet money, that Sabrina wins MVP versus Skylar Diggins-Smith winning MVP. This is how it would shake out. But this is not the same thing. These are betting odds. Yeah.
Yeah, not at all. And then Mickey put Sabrina at number 5 as well. Let me read some more of these comments. Yeah, a lot of them going. Yeah, so Mickey put Fee for MVP. A lot of them are rolling with you, Jordan, about Fee for MVP.
Yeah.
Like I think these 4 aces will not be the same. Aces will be exposed. I think the aces got exposed this season. And I don't mean exposed in an hour. I just mean like we found out that they're not good as we thought as we thought that they were. I mean, that's why New York won the championship. It's that simple.
Yeah.
So I don't think they got exposed in a bad way. They're just not a good team. They're not a good enough team to win.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
It's not good enough. Maybe next year, hopefully next year. We'll see. But it's not this year.
Do you think, okay, so 2 quick questions. Do you think Asia Wilson underperformed in the playoffs this year?
Chico, ask you the second question.
That's one. So that's question number 1. Question number 2. Do you think the Aces just ran into the wrong matchup? Like, do you think they could have beat Connecticut or Minnesota?
Yeah. I thought the matchup would be them in Minnesota.
Do you think they would have beat Minnesota or Connecticut on the other side of the bracket?
Las Vegas over Minnesota. They would have matched up against them. Yeah, I would have picked Las Vegas.
So, are you saying that the real WNBA Finals was the semifinals?
Yeah.
Vegas versus New York?
I wouldn't say the real one because the Minnesota New York series justified. That was an amazing series. So I'm not gonna say that too much, but
it was an amazing series. But that series should have been over by Game 3.
I knew that the winner of that New York, even though it's weird, I would have picked Minnesota. I actually take that back. I knew that the winner of the New York Las Vegas series is gonna win the chip. So that's kind of. If that's how you want to frame it, like, hey, that's why that's the real championship, then we'll say that. But I feel like the winner of that series was going to end up winning the chip. And you asked me to your first question, do I feel like Asia underperformed in the playoffs? Yes, I do. I picked her to win. And the reason why I feel like she underperformed is one, you won unanimous MVP, right? And you won it for averaging 26, 27 points a game.
Yeah.
So with that standard alone, I expect you to go into the playoffs averaging at least 27 to 28 points per game. So if you're not averaging 28 points per game, I'm gonna look at it differently, right?
Sure.
Let's look at her playoffs. Let's look at her playoffs. So this season in her playoffs is probably one of her roughest playoffs in the last 2 years. So this season she averaged in the playoffs 21 points, which went down from last year. She averaged less turnovers, which is good. She averaged more blocks. She averaged less steals, more assists. She averaged less rebounds. She shot worse from the free throw line, right? Shot worse from the 2-point, right? Like, yeah, all of her numbers across the board, even her free field goal percentage. I mean, she shot the ball more, and she just didn't get it. She didn't get the job done. It is what it is. I love Asia. It is what it is. I feel like she's somewhere in South Carolina, somewhere in Las Vegas, working out, figuring out how to get her game back and get better. I feel like she's gonna come back better next season. But yeah, I feel like she did, and I feel like a part of it is not only on her, but I'm gonna put the biggest blame on her. It's like the same thing I had with Stewie. I'm not looking at Sabrina, right? I'm not looking at a Sabrina if they lose. I'm looking at Breanna Stewart because Breanna Stewart to me is on the Mount Rushmore. Breanna Stewart is a superstar. So I'm going to put the onus on my superstars to take superstars to where y'all need to go. If y'all want to win rings, your superstars got to play like superstars.
Right.
And Asia Wilson to me is the greatest, and she's arguably top. Now I'm going to put her at top 2 or 3 of all time. I had her at number 1, especially because I thought she's going to win this ring this year. So yeah, I'm going to put the onus on her. So if she wants to win, which she's still great. Don't get it twisted. She's still number 1 in the league, but I feel like it's just she has to develop. And I mean, she's in the prime of her career. And Las Vegas has to surround her with more complementary pieces because we see that this whatever formula that was working before it's not working anymore. The rest of the league is caught up.
Right.
So I'm like, if you're expecting her to shoot 16 to 18 times and average only 26 points or 21 points like she did, it's not going to work. You need to do more. They have to have more people around her to get her easier shots. Why? Do you think she underperformed, Jordan?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Her points dipped by what, like 6? And her rebounds dipped by like 3 or 4?
Yeah.
You know? And she just wasn't. I mean, this is not totally her fault because she's not a guard. Like, she's not a ball handler. But she just wasn't getting the ball down the stretch. But she also wasn't demanding the ball down the stretch. You know? So, I don't know if it's like chicken or the egg, but she just didn't perform that well.
And again, excuse me. Again, it's just the fact that you have a team like this, and I feel like with Las Vegas. So somebody asked, "Is Kelsey Plum coming back?" And I don't know. It seems like this is the beginning of a new league. Honestly, to me, it just seems like
it's the beginning of the end.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's the beginning of it. Yeah, I feel like Las Vegas is going to retool because again, you got Kelsey as a free agent this year. Jackie and Asia and Chelsea Gray are all free agents next year. And then my biggest question is, if you bring back the same team, are you bigger? Are you better than New York?
What's different?
No.
Would
you bring back the same team?
No,
So
definitely not better than New York.
So what are we doing? So why would you want to bring back?
So would you, to put words in your mouth, would you say that this is a rebuild year for Vegas?
I mean, it's a retool. So I'm not going to use rebuild because they finished the 4th in the WNBA. So they're gonna need to retool. Shout out to Pat Riley. They're gonna need to retool, meaning they have to add in some pieces in addition to. The first order of business is they can't let Kelsey Plum leave, and they have to sign Jackie Young. So they got to sign Kelsey and Jackie, and then whatever you want to do with Chelsea Gray, even though I like watching her play, you got to figure out that too. And then they have to get another big with Asia Wilson. Yeah. Asia Carrington is a free agent this season, so they're thinking about maybe signing her.
Oh my gosh!
If they sign her, that'd be a great pickup because then
pickup. Yeah,
another defense play as much defense, especially on the perimeter. Especially where the WNBA is moving towards, you're going to need a Dejanay Carrington on that team. I mean, let me read Tyler's comments. I had to look at the cap space before I can give a good opinion. Well, let me read that cap space and see it. Every time she touched the ball, she got doubled, and they forced that out of her hands. Well, yeah, it goes back to what I'm saying about they need to have a team around her.
Not always. That's not always true, but
Tyrese, you heard him.
It wasn't always true. She had one-on-one matchups.
I'm gonna what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna open up the lines. If y'all want to request it, y'all tell me what y'all want to talk about on TikTok. Jordan, you want to stay online because we got all our stuff. Yeah. Okay, cool. So if y'all want to, let me read Abina. Shout out to Abina. It's the first time listener, I think, all the way from Benin. Appreciate you, mama. She put, I feel like the Aces. There you go, Jordan. Jordan is one of your favorite players. She said, I feel like if the Aces get Elena Donne, it is a wrap. It is a wrap.
Okay, so what's the story on her? Is she a free agent, or do the Mystics still retain her rights?
Have her rights.
Yeah.
So
she's under a contract.
It's so weird, but yeah, I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna try and find some Elena Donne. So she won't sign offers. She was she didn't sign the offer, and she just sat the season. That's tough.
Did she? I wonder if she got paid.
Let me see if I can find it. Y'all let us know what's going on with EDD.
She's the forerunner of Joel Embiid, you know. I am not playing in back-to-backs.
I'm not playing a year. I'm not playing a year.
Bro, Joel. Bro, you're second, bro. Elena started that.
Again, let me read it. She's just taking a break from basketball. So it says she told the organization, so she's 34, she was unsure of her future in Washington. So she decided to take a break. And so the team responded by giving her the core. They gave her the core designation instead of losing her in free agency without any money. And they just sitting her. Like, they're just sitting on. You know what I'm saying? That makes sense. So right now, the core designation gave Elena Donne options to sign the 1 year during play, or to agree to sign and trade and not miss the season. Trade. She took the latter. She missed the season. She's gone. She's had multiple back surgeries. Obviously, since coming into the league in 2003, she was the MVP 2 years later, 2015. Shout out to her. And she won another one in 19. She helped the Mystics win their only championship in 19 with Coach Tebow. I mean, she's again, she is a difference maker. So who knows? I have no clue, honestly. Abina, I feel like they just need her for the playoffs. If they got her in the playoffs, that'd be awesome. Shout out to Nunyan too. EDD
Where
will
does
be.
Peladon sit on your like all-time list?
Oh man, we got to do all.
Probably not top 10, right?
AD, I wouldn't say that. Just off the top of my memory, I'll give you some names off the top of my list for all time. Lauren Jackson, Asia Wilson, Breanna Stewart, Cheryl Swoops, Maya Moore, Cynthia Cooper, Lisa Leslie, Candace Parker. What number are we at? 7, 8?
You have already listed 8.
That's
Tamika
8.
Tamika Catchings.
Would you pick Delle Donne over Catchings?
No.
Okay, well, Catchings. There you go. And
Yolanda?
then Griffith is up there. Sylvia Fowles.
Oh yeah.
Like, there's a lot of great names. The WNBA.
She's right on the edge, if anything.
They got Abina put top 20. Abina put top 20. I mean, who else? I feel like all-time WNBA.
So Tarasi? You didn't even say Tarasi, I think.
You see what I'm saying? Tarasi.
Yeah. She's probably like at her best, though. At her best, like her best, she was top 10. Like at her very apex, like the 1-2 years. Well, I mean more than that, but like at her apex, she was extremely good.
I mean, I was honest. Brittany Griner has a case, but she needs more MVPs. But Brittany
Griner's got the accolades.
Yeah, she's gonna have it.
Yeah,
that's the only problem.
They were in the same draft.
So, better question: would you rather have EDD or Brittany Griner? Is Elena?
Wow, we're doing a redraft of what was it, like 2013 or whatever?
Whatever. No, bro, I would pick Elena over Brittany.
I would pick. No, I would have picked Griner. I just always go with the center.
So from what we know now.
Well, I mean, what we know now, I'd go with Delle Donne, but I always go with the bigger player. Like, I mean, that's just my personal biance. So
this is a really tag draft class. Brittany Griner, Delle Donne, Skylar Diggins went 3rd.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it is. This is a straight draft. It looked like Latricia cleared in. Also went number 9. Like, it's a massive Emma.
Yeah,
Let me see some other names that we know here on the list. Oh, right here. Jasmine Hassel, I know who she is.
Man, that's crazy, dude.
Sugar Rogers was a good player, too. I remember her. So, yeah. I mean, this is a tough draft. I don't know about that, though. Let me see. King put, hold on, EDD. Yeah, they play EDD. I need a beer. Somebody put I need a beer. Mickey Reese, she's funny. Copper, Cooper. We put Cynthia Cooper on the list, too, then, yeah. But yeah, other than that, I mean, it's going to be, what's the topic? Junedal, y'all give us a topic that you want us to talk about. We were just talking about MVP odds, and we just brought up the fact that Elena Delle Donne could or could not possibly come back and play for the Las Vegas Aces. So we were just kind of going off on that. But if she were to play for that team, I would pick them to win, honestly. If they had it to win, if they had her years, I'd pick them to win. I would pick them to win immediately.
I feel like that would be a legit. I mean, it really depends on what kind of shape or whatever EDD's in, or whatever. Like, how much basketball has she played this last year? Like, I don't think anybody knows. She's a very private person, right? So it's like, has she been working on her game? Has she even picked up basketball in a year? Probably not. Yeah. So, I mean, but she would provide theoretically a legit second scoring option.
Speaking of options, let me read this. So this is a fan submitted suggestion. Like I said, if y'all want to chime in on TikTok, y'all can just tap in. I'm gonna open up the line soon on TikTok, so y'all can just chime in whenever y'all ready. So they put, and you can see it right there. Yeah, I got you. Yep. So high price. So shout out to Junedal for this. High price Caitlin Clark memorabilia sells out in minutes. The supply once again did not meet the demand when it comes to Caitlin Clark's merchandise. Shout out to Rob Lendenberg. I'm gonna get him on the show. Jordan, let's get him on the show. Let's get Rob on the show. Y'all tag Rob. Let's get Rob on the show. That's somebody I talked to too. More proof that Caitlin Clark's popularity was not needed. This is Rob right here. He's another CC fan. Famous collectible company released a series of autographed Caitlin Clark items, incentivizing fans to open up her fans to shop for them on their site. The only problem is if interested buyers didn't click the link within minutes, they were out of luck. This is Kaylin. You should get it in silver. Make sure you get that autograph pen in silver. So obviously she's signing some jerseys, Indiana Fever jerseys, some Wilson basketballs, Iowa basketballs. This stuff sold out in minutes. And shout out to her. You know, I love the fact that she does this for people and signs and makes their day. So this is cool. But yeah, these are some nice pictures, some nice signatures. But yeah, Panini sold out in minutes. What are your thoughts on this?
She's the most popular women's basketball player of all time.
Yeah.
And it's not really close, you know?
Really? So you're going all time?
Yeah, like all time. Number one. I mean, by a lot, too. She's changed the whole landscape of everything, man. She's about to probably get that Lionel Messi Godfather deal to play in a secondary league, you know? Just so that league can say that she's playing to get greater leverage in CBA negotiations. Like how crazy is that? Like what player in a league moves the needle like that?
LeBron.
LeBron, Messi,
Jordan. You know, it's a handful.
Yeah, I mean, now you gotta go back to like historical figures, right? Like maybe Mahomes, you know. But I mean, she literally changes everything, man.
All time. So Nenya, what do you mean by all time? Oh, okay, lucky me 427 said stop. What do you mean by that? I want to hear what you mean. Let me see what you mean by that. I want to know what she means by that. Tyrese put it, yeah, he agrees with you. Nenya put all time. Let me read this. Officer, shout out to Officer. He put she's top 5 basketball player in popularity. LeBron, number 1, KD, Curry, and then is Kaylin. 96 put she is so much better off the court than on it. I mean, she made first team All WNBA, so I think she's pretty good on the court as well. Yundal put Messi and Ronaldo in European football, Federer in tennis, Tiger Woods in golf.
Federer, yeah. She was number 4 most marketable player in the league.
Huh?
She was the number 4 most marketable player in the world, according to some poll recently.
Yeah, number 4, yeah. And right above LeBron, or right behind LeBron. Abina asked this question, and I want to know what you think, Jordan, before Serena in tennis, Junda also put. Do you think she will win the ring in Indiana?
I know.
I know.
I don't think so.
But I don't either.
But it's because in my head I always pick. Okay, so let's just go back to like this year's winner. It was Breanna Stewart, like a 6'4" forward. She was up against Napheesa Collier, another like bigger, you know, front court player. Like Caitlin Clark is just like a small point guard, you know, that plays on the wings. Historically in basketball, that doesn't really work. You know, that just doesn't work. And if it works in, you know, time periods where rules are bent and physicality goes down. You know, Stephen Curry in the NBA. Like, that's the only way that it could work. But currently, in the landscape of the WNBA, where officiating is really shady and physicality is everywhere, like, I just have trouble seeing Caitlin Clark winning a championship unless she's surrounded by equally large, physically imposing players.
Let me read some of these comments, Jordan. So the comments, I knew they were going to go a little inflamed. So Bina agreed with both of us. I answered. Let me answer this. So Katie asked this question. Why wouldn't she? You answered the question. You kind of answered it. I'll ask this. I think it's going to be hard. Like I said this to Braden, I said this to a lot of you. You know, I think it's going to be difficult getting in free agents to Indiana. Like I love Indiana.
Right. There's that too.
It's just I love what they're doing over there. But it's Indiana at the end of the day. It's not Los Angeles. It's not New York. It's not Chicago. And again, they're getting ready to get a team in Miami again. So it's like, and it's not. I'm always going to say large market teams have an advantage, and it's easier to get large. I'm not saying, for the record, this is not me saying I don't think Caitlin is not going to win a ring. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is if they're not going to get the job done in the next 3 to 4 years, and I talked to Breanna about this, she's going to want to win. Obviously, the pressure from people, they're going to be, especially on the internet, they're going to chatter, oh, she's not winning, she's not winning. Does she entertain going to a bigger market where they have a team?
Right. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Where Breanna Stewart walked into a great situation where she had a Natasha, she had players surrounding her, so that when she walked in, she was the focal point. She had a supporting cast so that she could win a ring and an MVP where she was with Seattle. Now she's in New York where she has a Sabrina, she has a Lady Hamilton, she has a Peevish, she has a great coach. And to Tracy, Jonquel. Tracy played, you never know, and I'm not saying that, but he said exactly what I was thinking. If Indiana gets more depth, now he told me I don't like playing the if game. He asked me, do I think she will? So I'm not playing the if game. He put if Indiana gets more depth and a better coach. So it's a if and. Now it's not only an if, it's a if and.
It's double if, yeah.
It's an if and you know what I'm saying? Now you're assuming that she's also willing to stay there for the ride and be patient. Where she's not obliged to stay in Indiana, people.
Right.
There's no obligation to Indiana. She has no ties to the Indiana.
Right.
She works with the Indiana Pacers, not for them. You understand what I'm saying? She works with them to go win a ring, not for them. She's not there, pretty. So again, she's a player. She can choose to leave if she wants to. I don't want people to feel like any athlete has to be married or tied down to anything if they don't want to be in that situation. Just like I could see Angel Reese leaving Chicago because they got rid of her coach.
Right.
So again,
true. That's
I don't think it's not me saying I don't think Indiana will win. It's just that I think, especially again, and it goes back to Indiana Fever fans, y'all. If y'all are hating on your own teammates with the friendly fire, please stop. It makes little to no sense if you think you're going to get more free agents, and you're making inflammatory comments towards people that are on you, especially when they're on your own team, like what they did with Aaliyah Boston. Like, to me, that makes little to no sense. What they do with Kelsey Mitchell, what they do with any player that they deem it's okay to make fun of or whatever, with these comments. So it's gonna be difficult. So Officer Katie said they're gonna get free agents. Listen, man, I hope so. I hope that the Fever fan base can be, and I'm not just the Fever fan base. I'm talking about the very cultist fan base that Caitlin has. They kind of lay off these players so they can get more teams. Tracy she did that with Iowa. She built a team, but she did not win at Iowa because they needed a better team. So it's not only one player. It can't just be one player. We know that championships are not won off of one player. We just witnessed Luka go to a championship. It's not one player that wins a ring. It's a team. If you don't know my Miami Heat, Pat Riley screams this all the time. It's 12 strong. You got to have a team. You have to have a strong team. And if you don't, you're not going to win. Like, it's just that simple. It doesn't matter how great your player is. Ask LeBron that for the last 10 years. Like, you need to have a strong team. And until they can pull that around her in Indiana, which, again, they're doing the right things. They're building the championship blocks. It really comes down to what they're going to do this season in free agency and how they're going to fill out the rest of their roster.
But don't you think that it's just hard for a small player to be the focal point on a championship team? I mean, are Sabrina's struggles in the finals, like, don't you think on some level, like, Caitlin would have equally struggled? She wouldn't go 1 for 19, but they would also lock her up, and she, like she'd struggle with shooting. Like, the same things would have happened to her that happened to Sabrina on some level. Maybe not to the same extent, but you can't tell me, like, in your mind's eye that she would have shot, like, way better than Sabrina, and Kayla McBride wasn't going to give her troubles, and Napheesa wasn't going to jump out and give her trouble. Like, she was going to have the same struggles that Sabrina did, because a small player in a game where no one is hyper athletic and flying through the air with 40-inch verts, like a grounded game, that's really physical, a grounded physical game, small players do not have a good advantage. Like, they just don't, which is why Phoebe is so successful. She's 6'4", so that's ultimately what it's going to come down to.
I don't think she's a defensive liability, so I'm not in that camp. I think she can play decent to okay defense. I don't think she's a bad defender, so I don't think she's a liability. I wouldn't use those words, but I understand what you're saying. And I think honestly, her offense moving forward, her offense is going to be so great, her defense isn't going to matter. Like, not that it's not going to matter, and like, I'm talking about in the grand scheme. Like, she's not going to lock down her. I think she's not going to lock down her opponent, but she'll overpower them on offense so much that it won't even matter. So that part I I don't see that. Hey, King said he agrees with you, Jordan. CC shot 20% from 3 from the playoffs and 35% from field goal.
Yeah, see, she went through one round of it, and she also had similar-ish struggles that Sabrina did, because small people just don't have the advantage in a grounded, super physical league.
That's a true, but now Jundal brought up a good point. She can facilitate when she's not shooting well, and that's a great point.
She can, but dude, people are hyperactive in the playoffs. Like those little funny passing angles that ain't working against the Lynx, where they have 15 hands in the lane. Like all that stuff's turnovers in the playoffs for sure.
And again, I just think that they need a better team.
Yes,
like it's you know what I'm saying. Like again, it boils down to.
She just needs a better team.
Do you think this team has a higher ceiling with Kelsey Mitchell as a shooting guard or no? To win a ring.
I don't. I mean, it depends on what you're replacing it with, but I just don't. I don't think so. And I love Kelsey Mitchell. I had her ranked super high on the top 25 list. I had her at like 11, but I just don't. I think that right now the Fever should trade Kelsey Mitchell because this is the highest her value will ever be, and maybe get something good. Get a better defensive wing player. You know, to take some pressure off Hall. Hall is too short. Some of these players are just too big for her, like the Coppers and Enriquez of the world. Like Hall can't handle that. You know, so I mean, I would trade Mitchell and see what you get, or at least test the market and see what you can get.
What you can get back.
Yeah, to improve the roster.
I mean, why not? If they could get, I'm not gonna listen. If they can manage to get Unicorn in Indiana, it'd be a wrap. And then you put her with Lexi, and then you put her with Aaliyah, and you put her with, and say if you get a NECA in free agency, that's a 6 starting lineup.
That's a pretty fair trade too.
No, it's not.
Well,
WNBA, it's not a fair trade. You would have to give Kelsey plus picks plus money plus another. They would have to get at least Alyssa and some other players. You'd have to get Kelsey plus. You have to be like 2 pluses to get her. And that's if Dallas would want to trade Satu, but I don't think Satu wants to leave anyway. So you would have to give a lot to get her back. She's top 5. I got her at 10, and I probably would have had her at top 7.
I think I had her at like 12 or 13 or something. I had her high too.
And that's just for this. If she were healthy to start the year, I'd probably put her at 6. Like, she is that. Satu Unicorn is that. NECA is a free agent. Y'all saying NECA's staying in Seattle, but she a free agent. Why would NECA want to stay? She don't have a better chance of getting a ring in Seattle. She does not have a better chance of getting a ring. That's Nunya and Abina. She does not have a better chance of getting a ring in Seattle than she would in Indiana. Not with that team. Not with Aaliyah Boston and not with Kelsey. I would disagree with that one. I think NECA would have a easier path to a championship playing with the Fever than she would with Seattle, honestly.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and you have a younger player in Aaliyah Boston who's more offensively skilled, and she's practicing at 3. It would be amazing. Her and Aaliyah. I've been saying that from Jump Street. If they don't try to go get NECA Gumike on the Indiana Fever, that needs to be their first order of business, getting her in that center position. Satu seems happy in Dallas. Yeah, I don't think Satu's leaving. Satu understands that's her team, so I don't think she's leaving at all. They asked who's going to match her production. I just brought a few guys. So Kelsey Mitchell, and then it'll be Satu Savali. With that, Jordan, with that being said, I mean, we're going to switch to TikTok. Y'all open up the lines. They need another Kelsey Mitchell who will be, what? But does NECA want to go to Indiana? I have no clue. They need another Kelsey Mitchell. There will be another player like Kelsey Mitchell who's ready to win a championship. Facilities will determine free agency. Yeah, y'all tap in if y'all trying to join in. I'm gonna open up the lines on TikTok now. I'm gonna invite y'all up. Y'all can come join up right quick. I'm gonna invite some of y'all up. Boom. Bean, I'm gonna add you up too if you want to come up. Jordan, we gonna switch to TikTok. What do you got? You got closing thoughts?
It'll be interesting to see if CC plays in Unrivaled. You know, I think that's the big question for us right now, right? Like if I mean, either way, as Unrivaled goes through, it's, you know, to me, it's ultimately just leverage in the CBA. But it would definitely help the rest of the league if she played, for sure. I think they'd be eternally grateful if she played.
Shout out to, so I guess put the fries in the bag. She's not playing.
Well, you know, I mean, it'd be nice if she did for everybody's sake, but, you know, if not, if she doesn't, she doesn't, you know. It's her choice. It's her life, You know?
It is exactly. Enjoy your life, Cece. Whatever you choose to do. I guess my closing thoughts came with me, Drake. Like, and we'll kind of bring it up on TikTok. My closing thoughts will be bring back my Miami Soul, man. And I'm excited to see the Unrivaled League like participate. Bring back Miami Soul. They're talking about they're talking also bringing back the Orlando Miracle, which I would love to see too. So, but if they bring, I would prefer them to bring Miami back first. But if they bring Orlando back first, I'm not gonna trip. So, but I obviously would want to see my Miami Soul come back with the Orlando Miracle. So
that'd be
with
nice,
that
dude.
we're episode 39. We're almost at episode 40. Y'all can catch us on YouTube. We record daily. If anything, TikTok daily. We're here. Bring back the comments. We want the comments. Look, I ain't nothing wrong with use the comments, but of course bring them back. Of course bring them back. Of course bring them back. You're not gonna let me say that. So, with that being said, Jordan, appreciate you, man. We're gonna be on TikTok.
All right. I'll see you on TikTok. Peace.